In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through the process of cleaning satin paint cars and sharing some of my best tips for getting a great finish. And today's car on this beautiful summer's evening is the Mercedes Benz AMG GTR, which had plenty of dead bugs and living ones on its paintwork, so it's important that I remove them as quickly as possible. And as most of you will know, that satin and matte paint finishes are not very forgiving, so there is no room for error, especially with bug splats that can etch their way into the paint. So in this video, I will be covering the do's and don'ts and also be sharing my top tips for cleaning and looking after your satin finish. Plus, throughout the video, I will talk you through the entire wash process. And this is my first ever go using the MTM SGS 28 stubby gun combined with the Karcher K7, so I can't wait to see how these two are going to perform together. First of all, make sure you got good cool temperatures, and being in the British summer, I had to make sure that I did this one from about 6 PM, so I had plenty of shade and I had plenty of time to clean the car before it got dark. And it really does help if you pick a nice surface where there are a few rocks or grit, and I know that's not always possible for everybody, but it really does help because every time you're walking around you will be flicking up microscopic particles of dust off your shoes, and believe me, it does stick to the paint. Satin paintwork should be treated the same as a wrap because you can't just get a scratch out if you make a light mistake. So you need to make sure that you don't cut any corners, and a 2-bucket method is an absolute must with grit guards. If you're hypersensitive about the 2-bucket method, then you can stock up on wash mitts and use one wash mitt at a time, but I think that's just a little bit OTT. Another thing you need is a good shampoo with a decent lubricity just to reduce the risk of any scratching. And another essential is snow foam, and make sure you go for a pH neutral one. The thing with special cars like this is the fact they have special wheels. So this one in particular had matte black alloys, so picking the right wheel cleaner is also essential. And to put it bluntly, you can't use things like wheel acid or acid-based wheel cleaners because they will just eat through it and they're going to look absolutely ugly if you carried on using it over a longer period of time. For cleaning matte finish wheels, you have a few options. You can use a pH neutral wheel cleaner. Fallout removers are okay, but they don't always remove all the dirt. Or you can opt for a decent shampoo. One of the biggest killers for marks on matte black wheels is tyre dressing slings, so do get a decent tyre dressing. And I made plenty of videos featuring some brilliant ones, and one of my favourites is Drifter by Bear Car Care. But for this video, I won't be using any tyre dressings whatsoever, as it's at the client's request. And as a business, you need to appreciate that the client's decision is the final decision, and tyre dressings just aren't for everybody. I tend to think tyres can look good enough alone with a decent tyre cleaner and just being left. But it's all personal choice, and in a few weeks' time I will be revealing a brand new product to the market which could potentially change the way that you think about tyre dressings. So make sure you smash that subscribe button, as that video is coming mid-August. So I get asked this question a lot by so many people, and they ask, which is better between EZ wheel brushes and wheel woolies? And for me, wheel woolies will win all the time because you don't get any splashback and they last so much longer, and they come in all shapes and sizes. And yes, people can argue all day long saying wheel woolies aren't tough enough for severely baked on brake dust, but there are plenty of decent wheel cleaners out there that are good enough to remove the brake dust. And because wheel woolies aren't made by metal, they're not going to rust, and they're going to keep on going and going and going. And I've had mine for over a year now, and I use them at least 4 times a day, and I've had no problems whatsoever. As always, it's important to roll the car forward a tad to get the last of the areas you may have missed, and with that completed I was ready for some snow foam action, but unfortunately my memory card wasn't, so part of this footage has unfortunately been corrupted and I have lost it. So we're jumping onto the rinsing of the foam, and I tried a longer lance out on the SGS 28, and honestly it amazed me the difference that a 40-degree tip can actually make, because it covered so much more distance and ultimately it managed to speed up the cleaning process. And we're not going to say by loads here, but when you add up the amount of cars you clean per day, then per month and per year, I bet this would soon add up. So it's amazing how much difference each upgrade can offer your business. Now I'm leaving this bit of footage in because I want you guys to hear the awesome sound of the Ferrari 812 Superfast start up as he goes to the shops. After admiring my client drive sensibly to Tesco's, I wanted to cover as much of the car as possible in cool water. And this water that I'm using right here has been filtered, so another top tip for anybody cleaning these cars is to use deionized water to reduce the risk of spotting in the summer. With the car rinsed down, it's now time to bring out the pH neutral shampoo from Yum Cars, and this wash mitt that I'm using right here is from Pyramid Car Care. And I'll also put a link of every single product or bit of equipment used in this video right down in the description below, and I'll also list a load of discount codes for you guys to go and check out after the video's finished. When it comes to washing on this occasion, there isn't a real game plan because it was an absolute perfect temperature and the surrounding conditions were also bang on without any pollen falling off the trees or no wind. It was always a pleasure to work on. So normally I start off from the top down and I always save the lower third till last. And it may seem daunting for some people cleaning a car like this, but for me it's just the norm. And when you clean supercar after supercar, it becomes apparent that you can fit more in a day, as most supercars have just 2 seats and it's very rare that a customer uses one as a family wagon. Once the car was fully shampooed, I gave the car a rinse, but not a massive one because I still had the door shuts to contend with. Not that they were really dirty, but they did need a little shampoo and a brush afterwards. With the door shuts and everything else washed, I now had to rinse off the remaining water, and I'm so glad I treated myself to the brand new stubby gun because it made me realise just how much I hated the Karcher one that comes with the K series. And I'll be so thankful to see the back of this one, and coming soon I have a brand new video on its way, and I'm doing a massive test and review on the Nilfisk Core 140, and I'm really excited to try out the SGS28 stubby gun on that as well, as I'm on a quest to find the greatest pressure washer for car cleaning, and I still haven't found one yet, so could this be the one? When drying matte or satin paint, you need to be extra careful with drying that you don't apply too much pressure. It's one thing going fast, but applying too much pressure will increase the risk of any scratches. So my best advice is simply don't wash your car unless you have really cool conditions and it's completely out of the direct sunlight, or you will end up being severely disappointed. Drying the wheels was incredibly easy to sort out. I just needed my trusty blue Auto Smart towels, and again with light pressure. But having said that, the paint on the wheels seems to be a lot tougher than the type that you're going to find on your main bodywork. The glass is the really easy part for me, and as I mentioned in several videos, I've got loads of different techniques that you can use. My favourite one is the flunky and a microfiber towel. No chemicals, no problem. And because this was a maintenance valet, I didn't apply any special protection. But fear not, because I have a very special wax that is designed for matte finishes, which is going to be coming on another video very soon. So if you want to see how that one's going to turn out, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and keep your eye out on my how-to guide playlist on the channel. And also a massive thanks to Yumcars for sending me the products for this valet, and if you want to get 10% off all orders at yumcars.co.uk, then simply enter the code EPIC at the checkout. As for me, I'm getting back out there with a brand new video coming this weekend.